school that academic-wise, it, it uh, we were tough and so on. Music-wise, okay? I'm talking about just across the board. I think it really did have as much of complete programs back in my era during the time before integration came about that you could possibly have. Of course, everybody knew of the Crawfords and knew of Alvin Crawford.
The first African American to earn a medical degree from the University of Tennessee, 1957 Melrose graduate Alvin Crawford is an internationally recognized expert in childhood bone disorders and is currently head of pediatric orthopedics at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center.
When I did my residency, the last part of my residency at the University of Tennessee, and since I now work there on the faculty, I mean, he's a legend.
An active sports program rounded out the Melrose curriculum, and in 1948, the school had a new stadium in which to showcase that program. To this day, games at Melrose Stadium are community events.
On a Friday night football season, Orange Mound is probably one of the largest communities in this city because people come back from everywhere to come back to the football game. That's one of the links that they still have with the community, even though they may not live in the community any longer, and they may not have relatives that live in this community any longer. They always can come back to the football games and see each other and rehash old friendships and that type of thing.
It's one of the few places in Memphis where you can go to a football game on a Friday night and that you got more boosters than you do kids. I mean, you know, more people my age there and so on. It's like a reunion every Friday night.
Fans have also shared the experience of watching players during their formative years who went on to play sports professionally. Football is not the only sport in which Melrose graduates have excelled. Olympians Rochelle Stevens and Sheila Eccles added gold medalists to the list of honors, while Ronnie Robinson and Robert Bingo Smith give bragging rights to the basketball program. But the name probably most associated with Orange Mound and Melrose is that of 1969 graduate Larry Finch, Memphis State University men's basketball all-time leading scorer when he graduated from there in 1973. Finch returned to Memphis State 13 years later. There he would go on to win more games as the Tigers' head coach than any other in the school's history. Larry Finch never left the community where he grew up. But even for those who moved away, the bonds formed during their years at Melrose are not easily broken.
There are 4 alumni chapters across the country, in Memphis, in Atlanta, in Los Angeles, and in Chicago. And I chair the Atlanta Melrose High School Alumni Committee as well. So you're always connected. You always get an opportunity to serve, whether you're in a leadership position or whether you're serving. If someone calls you and they say Melrose needs X or Melrose needs Y, we respond.
Roy McLemore was my band director, and you know, to this day, he visited me here in my office recently, and you know, he's giving me a hard time. Hello, Mr. CEO, you know, but you know, to him, I'm still that SAC student.
It would have been a curse to have gone to another high school, living in this community, you know, because everybody you knew went to Melrose. Even the teachers in the elementary, junior high schools we went to, they all went to Melrose, and their children went to Melrose and grandchildren. So everybody you ran into went to Melrose. And so as a child, that was one of the things that I knew I had to do. I had to go to Melrose.
In 1972, Melrose High School moved to its present location on Dedrick Avenue. Other schools were open for the 1st through 8th grade students, and classes in the Dallas Street building ended. When plans for building a new community center in its place were unveiled, neighborhood residents fought to save the historic structure. As one of the few surviving examples of Art Modern institutional architecture in the city, the building's plight attracted the interest of the Memphis Landmarks Commission, which joined with the Orange Mound activists to save the schoolhouse from demolition.
Those people were strong. They would go down and voice their opinions to the mayors and so forth, and no, you just don't do this to Orange Mound.
It's a thing about people that go to Melrose, they stick together. They can stick together. That's what it's like glue.
Miss Alcine Arnett, she is the one who fought so diligently to make sure that the historic Melrose School building was not torn down. Very, very civic involved. She had cancer and she passed away, but she was very, very active. That's why I am just so passionate about us fulfilling her dream about creating something in that building and not tearing it up.
Current plans are in the works to convert the building into a senior living center and heritage museum. Ultimately, the Orange Mound Community Service Center, with its heated pool, variety of activity rooms, and computer labs, was built around the corner on Park Avenue. Today, the center's gymnasium occupies land once used by the earlier 11-room Rosenwald School, built in 1918.